Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by iBranson.com. You can find all the latest Branson show schedules and attractions information on iBranson.com. On today's show, we have for the first time ever, Jen Frost, and she's part of the America's Top Country Hits in a new show called Southern Gospel Sundays. You know, in Branson, we have a term called the Branson Shuffle. That's where shows move, and we also have a lot of new shows in town as well. So I want to highlight a few of those, may not get them all, but here's some that are coming up or moving. The Ball Knobbers have moved to the Hughes Brothers Theater, so they're back on Highway 76, one of the longest running shows in Branson, Missouri. We have the Great American Chuckwagon Dinner Show is back at Shepherd of the Hills. It opens on May 13th. And another show, the Wild West Murder Mystery Outdoor Show, opens June 2nd in the amphitheater. First time ever. Now, they're still going to have their Shepherd of the Hills play, but this will also be going on in the amphitheater. Billy Yates is coming back to perform in Branson with Down Home Country over at the Grand Country Complex. Jay Osmond debuts his show at the Raise Alive Theater. MJ Illusion, Reliving the King of Pop. That's Raisa's theater as well. Raisa's got a lot of new stuff going on over there. Buckets and Boards has moved to the Raise Alive Theater as well. Phil Dalton moves to the Raise Alive Theater, so they got a full lineup up there. And a new show called Aaron Wayne's Sweet Dreams Comedy Hypnosis Show. That sounds pretty crazy. So that's going to be over there as well. And then El Mago Pop is going to do some limited run engagements starting May 23rd through June 29th at his theater that he bought, which is the old Mel Tillis Theater. So those are just some of the things that are new or changes happening in Branson. Now, if you're here on vacation, I got a tip for you. If you be sure to pick up your copy of The Flavor of Branson. It's located all over town, at hotels, in racks, and it lists literally every restaurant in Branson, and they have tons of coupons in there to help stretch your dollar. So ask the hotel for The Flavor of Branson. We'll be right back with Jen Frost here on PlayBranson.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson, and on today's show, for the first time ever, I have the one and only Jen Frost. Jen, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So you are in a couple shows now in Branson, right?
Yes, as of this season, I'm in 2 different shows.
Okay, tell people what those shows are.
Well, the first one is America's Top Country Hits. This will be our 3rd season going in there at the Americana Theatre. And then my wonderful husband, Michael Frost, known as the Mustache Man around town, has written a family show for us. It's Southern Gospel Sundays with the Frosts at the Americana Theatre.
Okay, we're going to talk more about those shows in the second segment, but what we want to do is we want you to take us way back and tell us how you got into this business and kind of your career.
Well, it started out in church. My dad was a minister of music and my mom worked everywhere in the church, and so I grew up singing in the choirs and singing Sunday specials. And then when I was 10 years old, I saw Annie, like the musical Annie, with Carol Burnett and Eileen Quinn, and I thought, oh, I want to do that, but I was always kind of a wallflower, so I never told anybody that I wanted to do it. So it was not until my sophomore year of college that I actually said, I think I want to do this as a career. So I stopped my music education. I was going to college for music education to teach in schools, which it takes a very special calling to be a teacher. So I applaud all the teachers out there.
Yes.
That was not God's calling in my life. And so I decided to go and get my musical theater degree from a lovely college. It's actually a university now, and northwest mountains of North Carolina, called Mars Hill University.
Okay, I've heard of Mars Hill.
It's great. It's beautiful. I miss it so much. And I actually started off, they invited me into the theater program on a probationary period. They said, okay, let's see how you do for this first semester, and then you have to re-audition. And I was like, okay. Thank God I got way better, and they let me stay.
Well, that's good, because you probably didn't have a lot of theater experience at that point then, did you?
No, I think I had done like some choir things with my church, and then I think I did one piece of theater, Bye Bye Birdie, in high school.
I did Bye Bye Birdie in high school too. Actually,
yeah?
I think I was the guitar. Was there a guitar man or something like that?
Oh, I'm sure there was.
I don't know. It was a probably small part.
I was one of the 3 screeching harpies who sang terribly outside Conrad's window.
Yeah.
That was me.
That was a long time ago. I don't remember a lot about that, but anyway, okay, we sidetracked there. But
oh yeah, so I graduated and did like a few small school tours for children's theater, and then did a little bit in at actually Carowinds, which is a theme park in North Carolina and South Carolina. And then I moved to New York for a little while, and while I was in New York, I auditioned for Sight and Sound, which their only location at that time was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Right.
So I moved there for a year, and then God called me to a different Christian theater in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, called The Miracle, and that is where my very first day there, I was in the wardrobe shop trying on a dress that was way too small for me.
Yeah.
And this very handsome man walks in. They're like, "Hey, Jen, this is Michael Frost." And I was like, "Hi, it's so nice to meet you." Trying to get my arm out of this dress. It was not a flattering sight. So we became friends for about a year. And then I asked him, I actually paid him $1 to go on a date with me. And then we got married.
You paid him $1.
I did. I did.
Is there more to that story?
There is. My brother had been telling me, I need to check out this Michael Frost guy. You need to check him out. And I was like, no, we're just friends. We're just going to be friends. And one night we all went out to dinner, and he was going to try something he hadn't tried before. And I said, oh, come on. I'll give you $1 if you actually try it. And so he did. And so the next day at work, I brought him a card with 4 South Carolina quarters, because that's where I'm from, South Carolina. Yeah. And then a little note that said, hey, want to go to dinner? And then I just basically handed it to him and ran away. And he found me later and said, yeah, let's go to dinner. So
you really asked him out first?
I did.
Yeah. Hey, way to go, way to go. He's over there, by the way, y'all. He's over there. Well, that's a cool story. It's fun. It is. And so, there's probably not much better places to actually meet your husband than at a Christian theater. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Because if they're probably at a Christian theater, they probably have the right heart for God, which is what I was looking for. Yeah. Now, you were there for about 6 years, right? Yeah, sure was. We were there. He was there the entirety of the time. I was there for the last 5 years of the theater, and it was a wonderful experience, but God called us away from there, and I actually wrote a show and directed several shows for the Great Smoky Mountain Murder Mystery Dinner Show in Pigeon Forge, and then I got a call from a friend of mine, said, hey, are you interested in auditioning for Sight and Sound again? And I thought, when God called me away from there, I would go visit, but I was like, he's never going to take me back there. And then I got the call, and I'll never forget it. I was working in a hospital, and I rushed home during my lunch hour, and I had full hair and makeup on, but was dressed in my scrubs. And I had to do my audition via, it was Skype at that time. And I'll never forget the director saying, wow, you sang that song. It was really lovely, but what do you feel like you conveyed with it? And I was like, oh, absolutely nothing. He was like, oh, good. I'm so glad you know that. And so when I brought Frosty and JL back, that's our daughter, I brought them back in the room. He said, so are we moving to Branson? I was like, oh, no. I said it would take an act of God, because that was the worst audition I've ever given.
And what can I say? An act of God.
And so then you came here
Yeah.
to Sight and Sound for a while.
I did. I was with on stage at Sight and Sound for about 4 years, which what a wonderful family that is, and the things that they do there. Just in fact, I still am with the company, just not in a performing capacity anymore. But I love what they do there and the heart of what they do there. And so we came out here, and I did that for about 4 years, and then also was with Hallmark's Maxine's Christmas Carol over at Andy Williams Theater. I subbed in for Jerry Presley at God and Country, filling in for the late, great Nidra Culp.
Oh, yeah.
That, when she called and asked me if I would, I was like, oh my goodness, thank you for even thinking of me.
Yeah, man,
So,
she was an amazing singer.
tell me about it.
Folks, if you go back and look in our archives, I do have an interview with her. So,
She was amazing, and I learned so much from working with her. And then all of a sudden, Frosty was over at the Americana, and he said, hey, I think there might be an opening in America's Next Country Hits. Are you interested in coming over? And I was like, you know what, I think I am, but I didn't grow up with country music. I didn't know it until I met him.
Okay.
I think Dolly Parton was my first country music experience. And so I started researching and listening to all these really great classic country artists. And I'm like, whew, I had no idea the talent there. Their storytelling, their vocal abilities is just amazing. So I've learned so much, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of that show as well.
Yeah. Well, we want to talk more about that show, and we want to talk about the new show coming up. So hang tight. We'll be right back. Going to Branson for some relaxation and fun? You've got to stay with Branson's award-winning hotel family, Meyer Hotels. Meyer Hotels features 5 hotels in Branson with the best locations for your trip. Choose from brands you know and trust, like the Holiday Inn Express on Green Mountain Drive, the Best Western Music Capital Inn, the Best Western Centerpoint Inn, Comfort Inn at Thousand Hills, and the Comfort Inn and Suites. Enjoy refreshing indoor pools and hot tubs. Do you like free? How about a free hot breakfast each morning? Free vacation planning services, and of course, smiles are always free. Want even more value? Go to MeyerHospitality.com and join our e-club to save 15% off your next stay and check out incredible deals with our vacation packages. Call 1-877-FUN-STAY to book Branson's award-winning hotels or visit MeyerHospitality.com. It's your safe choice for award-winning lodging in Branson. MeyerHospitality.com. Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. We are here with Jen Frost, and she's in 2 shows here in Branson, and a brand new show that's starting April 28th called Southern Gospel Sundays.
Yes.
So tell people about this new show.
Well, obviously my husband, Michael Frosty Frost, grew up in the Southern Gospel circuit. He's actually a very accomplished singer-songwriter and has lots of cuts by different artists in the industry. And we started thinking we just really wanted to do something with our daughter as a family. And it was just this very last year that we were able to cut a full-length CD with her singing with us. She's always sung in little bits and pieces, but now she's old enough, she's got the parts down, like not even the parts, she's got the alto, which has some of the funkiest movements, like the lines in there, and she just nails it to the wall. And I'm like, who are you and where did you come from?
She has 2 entertaining parents, right?
I guess so. It just amazes me that her ear, she definitely got her dad's ear.
Yeah.
And so we started talking, and he said, well, I really think maybe it's time for us to put together something where we don't have to tour in the off season and go all over the country and pull her out of school. It might be something that we could do in a theater here and have people come be with us. So he put together this wonderful show with a lot of the music that he's written, but also classic hymns, really well-known Southern gospel hits. And we are going to be the 3 of us singing along with Clayton Watson. And he actually plays the opening over at the Presley's Theater, this really incredible pianist.
Right.
And he actually produced our last CD. And so it was such a nice way to, like, we've known him for years, been in church with him for years. But now we got to go in and record, and that was just such a nice experience. And then to say, hey, Clayton, you want to come on board and play piano? There's a little bit of, I obviously am not the songwriter, but I do have classic comedic timing, so there's going to be a little bit of comedy involved.
A little bit of comedy. You can be funny and still have a gospel show, folks. So your husband, songwriter, had a #1 hit in the gospel world.
He sure did.
Choose Life, right?
Choose Life.
So I just happened to, like, I was on y'all's website, I got to scout out what's going on, and I just happened to click on that. I'm like, I like the title. And then afterwards, I'm like, well, that was his #1 hit.
It was, yeah. And actually, we had recorded it years ago, but some dear friends of ours, His Songs, picked it up, and they actually took it all the way to #1. And it was such a, and I believe it actually won Song of the Year. Did it, honey?
They had won something at some point.
Well, I don't know. I just know that he got a plaque. It's in our house. I was very proud. Clearly not proud enough to know what it was for.
Yeah. So people that like Southern gospel music,
yes,
this is going to be the show that they want to go to.
Well, I certainly hope so. I know I would definitely want to see it, knowing that I enjoy Southern gospel music the way I do, mainly because of the heart of it. The one thing I've always told him since we started doing this together was that I never want to lose the heart for God. I don't ever want it to become a business. I know you have to look at it like a business because obviously you have to pay the bills. But when it becomes about the bottom line and not about who you're serving, then I don't want any part of it.
Yeah. I like that attitude. That's good. And I mean, I think if you have the right focus, God will take care of the rest.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. In fact, I was a little nervous going into this, but just seeing the responses that we're already getting online, I feel very encouraged, and God is going, hey, be peace, have peace.
Okay, it is at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
On Sunday evenings.
Yes.
So it's not too late. So if people are in town for the weekend, they could come before they head out of town.
Absolutely.
And then how long is the show going to be? Like how many, is it an hour and a half, 2 hours?
I believe we're going to try and keep it right there at 2 hours. So you hit the door at 5 o'clock, you're walking out at 7. So that, we can get you where you need to go.
Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about America's Top Country Hits.
Sure.
So tell people, if they've never seen that show, tell them about that show.
Oh, my goodness. Again, I did not grow up a country music fan. In fact, I was like, country music? Because all I could ever, please don't shoot me, all I could think of was Randy Travis, and he has a very nasal sound, and that is not one of my favorite tone qualities. So with that being said, I was like, oh no, country music. But wow, okay, so Chris Newsom has put together a beautiful show. He is the producer. Josh Carroll, our music director, blows my mind. Like, there is nothing that dude cannot do. He is literally putting together the music, putting together the click tracks, playing the guitar, the piano, the harmonica. He was even playing a kick drum until he kicked it too hard and broke the hammer.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing what he's put together. It's all classic country, most of it. We do there's some Reba, that sort of thing, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Garth, but still what I consider classic country. And it's just wonderful. He put it together in medleys. So you're basically getting a verse and a chorus, and then you're moving on to another song.
So it's like fast-paced, lots of songs.
Yes.
And that's sometimes good because people have short attention spans in today's world. And so they get to hear more songs, but they don't get bored with the song either.
Absolutely.
Right?
Exactly. Yes.
So I mentioned this when your husband was on the show, but I have a neighbor that, like, he's been to your show multiple times, and he's like, Chris, it's amazing, and he loves it. And so that's, good kudos. I mean, that was just my neighbor saying, Chris, you got to check this show out. So This is your third season.
It is.
And you guys are going Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 p.m.
That is correct.
So every couple days, people can, and there's a ton of shows over there at the Americana. Now, I didn't write them all down here because that's a lot to remember, but there's like 10 shows there or something like.
I believe there are 10 or 12, if I'm not mistaken. I think we rounded out at 12.
Okay.
The Frosts do.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's amazing. I just want to tell you that the cast of America's Top Country Hits, Hillary Carroll, great vocalist, also Josh's wife, Rick Inman, who is this incredible drummer. I'll just find myself standing on the platform next to him, just watching him, and I'm like, how do you even do that? And then, of course, Forrest Herzog. Again, nothing the guy can't do. It's just amazing. Plays the steel, the guitar. I don't know how they do it. I don't know where they found this talent.
Yeah, but live band.
Yeah.
Live band, and so.
And we're a family. Like, there's never a time I dread going to work. I'm like, all right, let's go see the fam. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time.
Yeah, and you can see that. Like that just comes out in your personality that you enjoy what you do.
I do, and I enjoy the people I do it with. I tell you, that really helps.
Yeah. Now, when you started, well, back when you were, I think, in school, and you kind of hid that you wanted to do this, did you ever think you would end up in Branson, Missouri?
Never in a million years. I didn't think I would end up in Pigeon Forge, but I always heard all of these things about Branson, and I'll never forget, it was probably 2 months after we got married, we took a road trip out here for just a couple of days and went back and we're like, that was kind of surreal, because it was like Pigeon Forge and Branson are kind of the same, but also very different.
Right.
And so I was like, I feel like we were home, but we weren't at home.
Yeah.
So we never ever thought he had never, listen, until he met me, he had never lived off the street he'd grown up on. And then we met and he actually moved to Pigeon Forge instead of commuted.
Yeah.
And then, so when I said, okay, I think we need to move to Missouri, he was like, wait, out of the state of Tennessee? I was like,
you broadened his horizons.
I did.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Okay, folks, you can see Jen Frost at 2 different shows here in Branson. I'm going to make sure you know which ones they are. That's the Southern Gospel Sundays. That starts April 28th through December 8th at 5 p.m. on Sunday. And then we have America's Top Country Hits Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. over at the Americana Theatre. They're both at the Americana Theatre. If you don't know where that's at, it's over by Cheddar's, it's over by the Presleys, it's over by the new Chick-fil-A. So it's right in the heart of 76 Country Boulevard. So go check them out. We'll be back in just a second to wrap the show up.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need unwavering.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at unwavering.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. unwavering.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. Our guest this week was Jen Frost with America's Top Country Hits over at the Americana Theatre. And America's Top Country Hits plays Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. Now, they've got this new show we talked about as well called Southern Gospel Sundays at the Americana Theatre as well. And it will start at 5 p.m. on April 28th and run through December 8th every Sunday night. You can find their family website at frosttrio.com. So if you want to see some of their original music, you can go there. Now, next week, our guest is Hannah Farnham, and she's with the Clay Cooper Theater. This is the first time she's been on the show. She's one of the newest entertainers over there. So be sure to check out our show next week. Now, if you need help planning your Ozark Mountain spring vacation, be sure to visit ibranson.com or call them at 1-877-ENTERTAIN. You can find the latest show schedules, attractions, and lodging options on ibranson.com, and there is still time to get here for your spring vacation. Now here's what's coming up in Branson over the next couple of months from a limited engagement show standpoint and special events. So March 11th through the 16th, we have Praise Fest at the Mansion Theater. On March 13th, we have the Brooklyn Tabernacle Singers at the Mansion Theater. March 16th, we have the Cathedral's Family Reunion. Then in April, from the 5th through the 7th, we have Young Christians Weekend out at Silver Dollar City. Leland will be in town on April 5th. That's a Friday night, and they put on a show at the amphitheater then. April 6th, we have Mosaic MSC, and April 7th, Consumed by Fire. There'll be lots of other bands as well on Park that weekend. Terry Bradshaw makes his return on April 8th to the Clay Cooper Theater, and April 19th and 20th, the Branson Music Fest over at Clay Cooper's Theater as well. And then Black Oak kicks off their season April 24th with Breaking Benjamin. That should be a great concert. And then May 2nd through the 27th, we have lots of bluegrass and barbecue at Silver Dollar City. If you like one of them or both of them, go check them out. Terry Bradshaw makes a return trip on May 6th to Branson, and Matt Gum does some of his limited engagement shows starting on May 13th over at Clay Cooper's Theater. And if you like Queen, you're going to want to see Bohemian Queen over at the Mansion Theater on May 18th. You can also find us, folks, on social media. Check us out on our YouTube channel or Facebook, and be sure to subscribe there or like us. Music is always better live, so go see some live music this week. That's it for today. We'll see you next week on Play Branson.